everybody. I didn't see you there. Thanks for tuning in. What we got going on today is this is the rear spoiler off of the Mercedes AMG that we've got. And what I'm doing is I'm cleaning off all the glue that was left behind, the adhesive that was left behind from the black wrap that was on the spoiler. I peeled it off and there is a good little bit of residue, and so what I'm doing is using this lift-off adhesive remover. I got this stuff at Walmart, and it seems to work pretty well. And so getting this adhesive off of there, and then I'm going to go through, do a scuff on it, get it cleaned up and ready for paint, and we'll go ahead and do a poor man's paint job on it. So actually I'm going to use the spray paint, but use quality spray paint and do a good prep on it, and it should turn out okay. We'll find out. If not, then we'll drop back and punt. So anyway, let me get this finished up, and we'll get on to the next phase of this project. Alright, looks like we got it cleaned up pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up with some Windex, get the any of the residual of the adhesive remover off of there, so we can clean it up and make sure that it doesn't keep working on the paint that's on there. And I'm pretty sure this thing is some type of a foam that's underneath the paint, based on what I can see. And I really don't want to have this stuff eat through that paint and into the foam, and then have to try to find another one of these spoilers. I'm relatively certain that it is the factory original, because in the back of it says made in Germany, and then there is some numbers in here that I think correspond to the VIN, but I'm going to check here in a few minutes and find out. Alright, there we go. Let's get to work on the rest of it. Alright, let me give you a little bit of an update of what I've done. I went ahead and masked off the back side of the spoiler, and I did this because I don't want to overspray onto the surface where the adhesive strips are going to go. And reason being is I just kind of think that the glue that still remains on there is super tacky, and I think the other 3M adhesive is going to stick to that just fine. And so I will clean it up a little bit and give it a good alcohol wipe before I put that stuff on there and let it dry. But I did run a sharp edge around the edge of the tape to make sure I get a good reveal, I guess you can say. This you won't see when it's mounted to the car, but I wanted to have enough of a reveal on there so that nobody could actually see the silver paint underneath. And so that's it for there. And what I'm going to do next is get a bucket and some water and start doing a little bit of, that's weird, a little bit of tape stuck to it, kind of weird. And so it's already cleaned up, it's all done. You get a little bit of sandpaper and give it a good wet sand. That wet sand will break the shine off of there. And the paint's sticking really well, so I don't think that's going to be a problem as far as making sure that the new paint will adhere to it. I do have an adhesion promoter. I'm going to spray that on there before I spray any color on it, so just to make sure that it sticks real good, and see how it goes. Now I don't know if adhesion promoter is something that has to be done, but I've used it on pretty much everything that I've painted, all the plastic parts and things like that, and it's done a wonderful job for keeping the paint stuck to it. So I'm not going to change it if it's working. If it's working, then I'll do something different. Anyway, quick update for that, and that's where we're at with the project, and you'll see the rest of it as we progress. Alright, hey, welcome back everybody. In the last video, I didn't paint the spoiler on video. only because I had it out in the driveway and the wind was blowing and everything else, and so I knew that it wouldn't be a real pretty video. But because the wind was blowing and it was out in the driveway and everything else, I did wind up with quite a bit of trash in the paint, so I am going to sand it down again. For this one, I've got 800, and so I'm going to get it down to a pretty fine finish. And then I'm going to go from there, probably repaint, respray it again. But when I respray it, I'm actually going to pull the cars out of the garage and do it in the garage where I can control the wind and control all the dust and everything else a lot better. So, but I want to get it real smooth so that when I do actually put the next coat of paint on it, it goes on really smooth, really nice, and see what kind of a finish we can get out of it. I already sanded through that, so that's okay though. I'm not really worried about sanding through it. I'm just kind of trying to get it really to be as smooth of a surface as I can, and because I want the best result that I can. I should probably be a lot more careful than I am, but I know I'm probably going to wind up sanding it at least once or twice more. Between coats, of course. There it is. That's it for this segment. So it worked out great. Gonna knock all the sheen off of it. Got it down to a really pretty smooth surface, and then I'll have to wax and grease it, tack it, and try it again. See what it comes out with next time. I may wind up having to do 4 or 5 coats on it to get it to come out really smooth, which I shouldn't worry too much because I'm going to then turn around, and if I spray it with a matte clear, that covers a lot of stuff so that you can't really see what's there. So anyway, that's it for now, and we'll see you the next segment. Alright, we're back again. It's been probably longer than it should have been. It's been about a week since the last part of the video that I'm shooting. But anyway, I'm going to get the thing a little bit closer. I went ahead and re-sanded because I had a bunch of trash in the paint and everything else, and so got that part done. I'm going to go ahead and spray it again, and we'll see how it comes out. But I moved the cars out of the garage because at least that way I'm inside and I don't have to worry about as much stuff blowing around. So we wipe this thing down and we'll see how the next coat goes on. Alright, I went ahead and did the wax and grease remover and everything else from it. So now I'm going to try to hit it. I wiped it down with a good lint-free. So we'll see how this stuff goes on. Hopefully better than the last stuff did. It's already looking a lot cleaner than the last spray. So. Alright, so there we go, we've got that one on. It actually looks like it went on a lot cleaner. I know some of you are probably wondering why I'm doing this way, but kind of the whole point to this channel is looking at what we can do with what we have to get the best result possible. And I think as it sits right now, it looks like it's coming out pretty good, and so just a matter of time to see how it shakes out. So far, so good. Alright, we're back. It's all done and painted, and I did go ahead and put the 3M tape on the back side of it. And so basically what we're going to do now, get it lined up and stick it on real good. Now, there is some little scuffs and stuff on the paint, and so I'm going to make sure that I line it up to cover those up, because those scuffs are actually a lot more pronounced than what I would prefer, probably because of the spoiler previously maybe moving around a little bit or whatnot, who knows. But anyway, we're going to make sure we cover those up, get the thing centered up. I'm going to wipe it down with some wax and grease remover, and we're going to stick it on the car. So, pretty easy deal, just about done. So, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I've wax and grease removed it, and now I'm not going to touch this surface at all because I don't want to wind up doing it again. But what I'm going to do is set the spoiler in place. I'm going to line up both ends with where it is, and then where the third brake light, I want to make sure that those are even so that when it goes on, all the reveals look proper. And I've got it in where it is now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some painter's tape, and I'm going to mark the ends of the spoiler so that gives me a reference point to set the spoiler back down once I peel the backing from the tape, or the 3M tape that holds it on. And so I have a good reference point for that. I've got the reveals about the same on both ends. As a good reference, I'll be able to put a finger on each end and kind of set it down in place. I'm going to get it ready to where the backing on all the tape, all I have to do is have the ends out and I can peel. And my goal is to start kind of in the center and work my way out and get it set really tight. So, yep, all the sections of tape have some off of it. Try to get them as straight as I can. Now, what I want to do is get this and this as even as I can. And I'm not going to push down hard on anything yet, because I can still move it a little bit if I need to. Okay. Pull that one out. Well, that isn't good. As you can see what happened, the whole thing moved. And so I probably should have been holding on to it with my hand, but I was not. And that's what I get for that. So that's better there. There. That one out of there. Get these off of here out of the way. right. Now push it on there to make sure that it sticks really good. There we go. Down there where we can see it. I get a little bit of stuff to clean up, but a little tape residue and stuff like that. But all in all, it came out pretty good. I really like it. Inexpensive, I think, including all the 3M tape and everything. I think that spoiler probably cost about 20 bucks, 25 bucks to refinish and have looking the way it does. And I think the matte finish was the right choice. Looks good. Just have to get out on the road and see it in the sun. But anyway, hey, thanks for watching Yellow Jacket Garage. If you haven't already done so, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you want to see more projects like this, stay tuned. I'm going to do as much stuff as I can. So I've got a few more things coming up, and I don't know when this video is going to be posted, but we do have another video probably coming up with the Corvette. That's going to be a pretty neat video, pretty neat drive. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on Yellow Jacket Garage, and we'll see you on down the road.